Are you coming to? No, she's not. Any public comment? The recommendation is to approve May revise, and we'll pass that out on the 2-0 recommendation. Issue number 3, additional CPP funding for the closure of Sonoma Developmental Center.
Thank you. Issue 3, outlined in the agenda on page 17. Included in this proposal is for supporting the regional centers in their efforts in developing the community capacity, again, in an expedited manner in response to the proposal for achieving transitioning everybody from Sonoma Developmental Center to the community by the end of 2018. And included in this is $48 million for the regional centers. That is broken out to $46.7 million related to purchase of service for startup activities as well as placement activities for the fiscal year of 15-16. In addition, it would be for $1.3 million in regional center coordination. Just to give you some context behind it, for the purchase of service for startup efforts, 46.7 really would be focusing on enhancing the community and building that capacity. Absolutely appreciate Senator Stone, your discussions as to what can we do to enhance and to really take a look from those lessons learned from prior efforts of closures. One of the things that we would be identifying is the development of these resources very quickly. And this is exactly what this proposal does, is saying what can we do right now in developing early on, working with the community, and far above any other priority is making sure that we're reaching out to the stakeholders, in particular to the consumers and to the families, and hearing what the development needs are in the community, not only for residential services, but also those non-residential services, talking about the healthcare services, whether it's transportation, talking about the equipment, making sure that we have those resources developed. So this proposal really is all-encompassing of ensuring that we can do that. One of the areas that we have identified as an opportunity as a lesson learned from Lanterman was recognizing that developing the critical resources for the individuals with very complex needs needs to be developed early on. So what we've done is identify the ability to develop some of these resources, in particular what's often referenced as 962 homes, the adult residential facilities for persons with special healthcare needs, also known as ARF-PISHNs. Developing those resources really immediately, working with the regional centers in the community and identifying where those needs for the development would be. Again, getting to where the residents that are at Sonoma, where the community that they want to be able to transition to that's near their loved ones, as well as we have an opportunity that we did not have for the purpose of Lanterman closure and Ag News, is that last year statute gave the department authority to develop emergency regulations to develop enhanced behavioral supports homes for individuals with complex behavioral needs. That again is modeled after the 962 homes, but for individuals with behavior challenges. This is also a model that we want to start immediately in developing into the community. And as I mentioned, that we do have also some funding for non-residential services, and I outlined that for you. But in addition to the residential services that is facility-based, we also have some funds earmarked very specifically for development, enhancing some of the supported living opportunities in the community as well. Moving to the regional center operations portion, for the $1.3 million that's earmarked for the purpose of supporting the regional center's efforts in being able to develop the resources. It's not only for developing them, it's also providing some of the oversight as we're supporting folks in transitioning from the developmental center to the community. Again, it's really going to be important to make sure that we listen to the families, we listen to the consumers as to where those needs are, and in ensuring that we have adequate staffing and the operations available to provide that, that link to the community so we can all have a collaborative effort is wrapped into the proposal that we have today.
Thank you very much. LAL.
Recommend approval.
Finance. Public comment on issue 3.
Hi, I'm Jackie Dillard-Foss with the Supported Living Network. I want to say that at the Lanterman closure, there were 7 individuals that went into supported living. So it scares me to see that supported living is mentioned, but only 7 of those folks with complex behavioral needs went into supported living services, and that was when it was right at the end and they had no other options. We are not the only option left. We should be one of the first options. One of the things that I want to bring to the attention is we met a lot with the Sonoma Family Association, and I don't know if the department realizes, but for those parents, 60% of those parents when surveyed said that supported living services was their preferred option. So I'm hearing about the 962 homes. Yes, you can talk to Kathleen Miller. She's the one that actually gave me that information. I saw the look of who actually gave me the information. So I wanted that survey for those families is critical as a part of this process. But complex behavioral needs, what does a person with complex behavioral need? Probably individualized supports. Complex medical needs, I'm hoping that we're looking at the nursing waiver. People with complex medical needs, as you see as they testify, are living in supported living and thriving. But can we get individualized? Can we meet the federal mandate that's going forward in the next 5 years? They already have a home of their own, they already are on the lease, and they already have their own key. So can we look at supported living services realistically and not as an afterthought? I think the network is asking us to no longer be an afterthought, and we don't take 2 years. I do hope that in this money that we could also put funding in there for people to own their own homes, so you can purchase homes, and guess what? They don't have to leave if they own it. So anyway, I think those are options, and I really look forward to more discussions about a home of one's own and supported living as a true option. Thank you.
Thank you. Next witness. Anybody else wants to provide testimony? Now is the time to queue up.
Thank you, Senator Mitchell. Will Sanford, Futures Explored. My comment would be is on the term startup. Startup often means till the first person moves in. So the first person moves in a month, but the next person doesn't move in for 9 months. That home goes away. We suffered that in Livermore where an ICF was developed, was there, but never got to full capacity. So I think allowance for the startup funds to be used until the home actually achieves operational, stability would be helpful.
Thank you. Next witness.
My name is Jamie Sky. I have a very small supported.
Angle it down, then it'll pick you up. There you go.
My name is Jamie Sky. I have a very small supported living agency, and I was involved in the Agnes plan. For 2 years, I went to Agnes, met with people, met with parents, families, and I had one referral in that 2-year period, and it actually wasn't an appropriate referral. But that was my experience, and I'd like to see this be a real different experience.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Next witness, please. 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. And again, my thanks to the committee for all the hard work you've done and for the administration in making this very challenging and thoughtful culmination of the Lanterman Act vision. At North Bay, we serve about 15% of our adult population in supported living. The statewide average is about 5% per regional center. So we feel like we've demonstrated a lot of leadership in this area. I just wanted to underscore what Ms. DeVos said, that basically these are great alternatives for some of our folks coming out. What we need to be concerned about is health and safety in those settings so that we have wraparound services. And as former chair of the ARCA Housing Committee, I have to say it's all about housing, housing, housing. We need to develop our own stock of housing so our folks are not displaced when an operator decides they don't want to do it anymore. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will entertain a motion to approve May revise with some technical corrections to the fiscal schedule.
I applaud the governor for including these resources for the community development portion, and I think it's necessary to help facilitate the process and humbly move it forward.
Thank you very much. That's out with a 2-0 recommendation. Issue 4. Can we do it in 2 minutes? Issue 4.
Good morning, all. Dwayne LaFawn with DES. Issue 4 is a callback to the January budget. It's to retain positions that we use associated with closure activities. This proposal proposes to retain the Regional Resource Development Project positions for Lanterman post-closure activities, continue the Southern California Staff Administration for the Community State Staff Program, and then 5 DDS assigned positions to support closure activities. Those positions are outlined on page 18 of your agenda.
LAO? Finance? Senator Stone? Any public comment on issue 4? Seeing none, again, the requested positions will help facilitate the development and monitoring of the appropriate services and supports to help ensure a collaborative closure process. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve as budgeted. That's out with a 2-0 recommendation. Yeah. I think that this is a good time with the hour of noon, straight up having arrived, for us to take our recess. We will reconvene in this hearing room at 1:30 this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Ask everybody to leave quickly so we can.
Sergeants will be locking up the hearing room, so we're going to ask you to please leave, take your personal belongings with you, and it will be reopened shortly before 1:30. But the hearing room will be closed. Thank you.
You guys can make your stop.
Delay, our caucus ran longer than anticipated. Before we begin with issue number 5, I'm going to ask that we open the roll for votes that we took to allow Senator Monning to add on. Let me get my. And we're going to begin with issue 1 on pages 15 and 16. The May revision overview. Issue 2 on page, and that's out with a 3-0 recommendation. Let me turn back on my agenda so I see where I am. Issue, we're on page 17, issue number 2, approved May revision. That's out 3-0. Issue number 4, issue number 3, we approve May revise with some technical changes. Out 3-0. Issue 4, bottom of 18, approved as budgeted. Out 3-0. And now we're at issue 5. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Issue number 5, again, the DC closures, the proposed trailer bill. We're on page 19 of the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Doyle.
Senator Monning, John Doyle, Department of Developmental Services. The agenda reflects the language that's being proposed for May revision that will require the department to provide notice of a closure plan for Sonoma Developmental Center by October 1st. In order to develop that closure plan, the department is required to comply with Welfare and Institutions Code, Section 4474.1. That section outlines specific requirements that the department must meet in order to inform the plan. So we're required to meet with a number of stakeholder groups, and we will be doing this beginning in the May-June timeframe and through October to solicit input, to get feedback on issues that are of concern to a number of stakeholder groups. And the plan, our plan will, following the requirements in Welfare and Institutions Code, it'll require that we meet with consumers living in the developmental centers, consumers living in the community, parents, family members, employees, employee groups, community care providers, the State Council on Developmental Disabilities, the Association of Regional Center Agencies, Disability Rights California. There is a host of organizations that we are required to meet with. And by doing this, we're confident that it will help provide a thorough and comprehensive plan.
Thank you. LAO.
Sean Martin with the Legislative Analyst's Office. We recommend approval as placeholder trailer bill language so that the legislature will have an opportunity to make some changes and adjustments to reflect legislative priorities.
Thank you, sir. Finance. Senator Monning. Public comment on issue number 5. Again, specifically with regard to the proposed trailer bill.
Madam Chair and Senators, Kobe Pizzati with California Association of Psychiatric Technicians. Of course, we do have objections to the October 1st date in the trailer bill language. It's moving way too fast. We, as I said earlier, April 1st is what we believe. We have trailer bill amended language that I could share with the committee if you so choose.
Please,
Thank you.
feel free to share it. Next witness.
Madam Chairwoman and committee, my name is Soin Ban with Disability Rights California. We support the closure plan, believe there are appropriate resources dedicated to do it right. We are pleased DDS is doing a plan by October 1 with the date specific as a trigger for the protections and processes required by a plan. We also support the proposals to strengthen the plan, so thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much. On this item, please refer to pages 19 and 20 for the detail in your agenda. I'm going to recommend, Senator Monning, that we approve the proposed May revision language with additions described on those pages as placeholder trailer bill language, which is also in accordance with the LAO recommendation. This is a work in progress. That's out with a 2-0 recommendation. Let's move on to issue number 6, enhanced behavioral support homes, the May revised trailer bill proposal.
Good afternoon, Nancy Bargeman from the Department of Developmental Services. On issue 6, the enhanced behavioral supports homes, in Budget Act 2014, it provided the authority and funding for the department to develop up to 6 enhanced behavioral supports homes in the community for no more than 4 individuals per home to serve individuals and provide the residential option for individuals with complex behavior challenges. The May revised proposal in the trailer bill language is to support expediting the development and building the community capacity by lifting the statutory limit.
LAO.
No issues.
Finance. Okay, thank you. Public comment on issue number 6. All right, seeing none. Oh. You can feel free as they're presenting on the issue to queue up. So I see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, members of the committee. Eileen Ritchie, Association of Regional Center Agencies. We recommend expanding the language to include the 126 persons with developmental disabilities living in smaller mental health rehabilitation centers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to approve the May revise as placeholder trailer bill. So moved. That's out 2-0. Moving on to issue number 7, delayed egress secured perimeter homes, May revised trailer bill proposal.
Yes, thank you. Issue 7 on the delayed egress homes statute was enacted in 2012 to permit the use of delayed egress with the secured perimeter in licensed facilities. Included in this provision that the homes must be eligible for federal funding. When proposing the statute in 2012, there were a number of considerations that were looked into. One is reviewing at that time the proposed federal home and community-based regulations as it related to the delayed egress with a secured perimeter. We also consulted with legal experts in Medicaid funding, and they were of the opinion that based on the draft regulations that would not prevent the facilities to be eligible for Medicaid funding. In January 2014, CMS published their final federal regulations, and then with those regulations, although it's not specified and it's silent on the secured settings, we did, as a state, receive a letter in April 2014 indicating that the facilities were not eligible for federal funding. In response to the 2014 letter from CMS, we had conversations with CMS, and in those discussions that we were informed that we would be required to move forward doing an amendment to the HCBS waiver, understanding that that's a complex process, and then also with the new regulations in action, we were in the process already working with the stakeholders and with the Department of Healthcare Services on the statewide transition plan. So in that effort and continuing to work with CMS and working through the process of the statewide transition plan, knowing that we have an immediate need right now to develop and support the 12 homes that we have in development at this time. Of those 12 homes, we have capacity for 72 individuals. There are a number of individuals that are currently residing at College Hospital and other locked settings that are identified to receive services, and also understanding certainly the pressures of providing supports to the individuals that have a forensic background in a setting in the community. We are putting forward trailer bill language to remove the requirement for the Medicaid funding and statute.
LAO.
Sean Martin with the Legislative Analyst's Office. We think it's important to develop community-based placements for people who are in the secure treatment facility program that are eligible for federal funding, and so we find ourselves in agreement with the staff recommendation.
Thank you. Finance. Public comment.
Hi, my name is Jackie DeLaFosse with the Supported Living Network. We'd like to see, we are transitioning people out of College Oak Hospital. It'd be nice to see in trailer bill language or somewhere that Supported Living Services is recognized for psychiatric care and the direct support wages for serving these complex folks. They do well in this individualized setting, but we do need some enhancement, so I think that should be up for consideration. Thank you.
Eileen Ritchie-Arca. I just want to say that we support this proposal. There are very good providers out there. They're in the middle of developing these facilities, and this uncertainty has been holding things up, so we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As reflected in page 27 of the agenda, Senator Monning, I'll propose that we adopt placeholder trailer bill language and that we direct committee staff to work with the administration on additional language as described in the previous two paragraphs there, primarily because it seems premature to fully remove the requirement that all such facilities be eligible for federal funding, given the fact that the department is continuing to have conversations with CMS. And so this additional placeholder trailer bill language that directs the administration to work with staff on some of the specifics referenced on the top of page 27 is what will make the recommendation.
So moved.
Okay, and that's out. 2-0. Moving on to issue number 8, statewide self-determination program and the governor's January proposal and legislative proposal.
So regarding issue 8 on statewide self-determination program, we've been asked to provide an update today. Happy to do so. Senate Bill 468 was signed into statute in 2013, establishing the ability to have statewide self-determination program. As a reminder, DDS, in our effort in developing the application and submitting it, that we've engaged a stakeholder process that's been very informative to the department as we've moved forward. The waiver application was submitted in December 31st, 2014. During that time, we did receive feedback from CMS regarding the application. They've asked for 2 specific issues to be addressed, one of which was asking us to post the application on the website for public comment for at least 30 days. In addition, they were having some questions regarding how we were moving forward with an application and self-determination, knowing that there were new federal rules in some of the settings that are outlined in the service descriptions. They felt they were wanting some clarity as to how we were going to be moving forward with that. We've addressed those issues, and as of yesterday, because of the dialogue that we've had with CMS, that we were able to clarify that. They have the information. And because of the dialogue that we've had in the recent weeks with them, we do anticipate a very quick review. And at that time, we'll be able to go ahead and formally have the application submitted again formally and be able to post for public comment in short order.
Can you respond to the legislative proposal?
We'll continue to, as part of the stakeholder work group, what we will be doing is making sure that this is part of the process of having the dialogue with all of the parties that we have. They've been such a great guide to us as far as informing us and providing that advisory, and we'll look forward to having that discussion with them.
And I hope there's some way that we can be kept apprised of the outcome of those conversations, in addition to voting on the bills. Thank you. LAO? Finance? Public comment?
Real quick, Marty Yamamoto, California Disability Senior Community Action Network. I'm also on the Self-Determination Advisory Committee and strongly support this. I think it's a good thing for the developmental center families. It's a positive step, and I really strongly appreciate the legislature for putting it forward. Thank you.
Will Sanford, Futures Explored, also a member of the Self-Determination Task Force. Currently, all the individuals who are in a developmental center are also regional center clients, so therefore would be eligible for the pilot today. So they could apply to do this anyway, so I'm not sure, unless you're just simply expanding the numbers for that, that would be great. I think the big question would be is when you get to what your last year's budget was, I'm thinking they have a slight advantage in the community, over the community.
Ever so slight. Next witness, please.
I'm just going to say, Tony Anderson from the ARC of California, we're on the task force, and we are impressed with the work that's going forward, and we're in support of this measure moving forward. Just want you to know.
Thank you very much. As reflected in page 28 of the agenda, I'd like for the committee to approve the admin's proposed provisional language modified to require notice to the Joint Legislative Budget Committee 30 days prior to the transfer of funds, so that we can remain involved in the process and considering the potential additional 250 slots, if feasible. Thank you. That's out with a 3-0 vote. Yes.
Page 20, issue 5.
Just a bit of housekeeping here. We're going to allow Senator Stone to add on. Item issue number 5 is now out with a 3-0. Issue number 6, page 23, is now out 3-0. Page 27, issue 7 is no vote or a no? Okay, is a 2-0. And issue 8 is you just voted on. Aye, perfect, thank you. We're all caught up. We'll now transition to the next section of this A part of our agenda, developmental centers. And let's start with issue number 1, expansion of secure treatment programs at PDC.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Dwayne LaFond, Developmental Services. This proposal has changed somewhat since January. We're proposing to increase the cap in secure treatment from the original 170. In January, it was 202, and now we're proposing for it to be 211 as the cap. We've got trailer bill language in there, and part of the way we're doing that is by eliminating the adolescent residents in the secure treatment area so that we would accept only adults into secure treatment. The trailer bill language changes the cap number to 211 and eliminates the reference to transition beds, so we can make it clear in the language that the cap is specific to the beds that are only in secure treatment. It does allow for us to continue the use of the 2 older residences, which was the 32 increase in capacity. And as I said, we will find other treatment options for adolescents. We really don't think that's the best option for them to be in secure treatment. And so that'll be some deflection activity there. And that's pretty much the change.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. LAO.
Sean Martin with the Legislative Analyst's Office. Previously, we had not raised any issues with this proposal. However, that was before the governor's announcements of his plans to close down the developmental centers. With the announcement of those plans, we think it makes sense to rethink the role of Porterville Developmental Center and look for options to place people in the secure treatment program in the community and also to draw down federal funds. So we just learned of the staff proposal here to reduce the amount of funds, and we are happy to work with staff and provide technical assistance on this issue.
Excellent, thank you. Finance?
LaWanna Welch, Department of Finance, and we continue to support the May revision proposal.
Thank you.